interview. First off, we appreciate everybody that tweeted it, watched it, listened to it, commented on it, reached out to us about it. Really enjoyable time with Billy Napier on Wednesday morning. If you haven't checked that out, it is in your podcast feed as well as available on YouTube. But gentlemen, looking back, Silk, you threw some haymakers there at the end, question wise. But overall, good interview. What did you guys think?
Well, first of all, I want to give you your flowers. It's a team effort around here, man. Good get. I know everybody want to guess who got the Napier and all that, but I appreciate you guys, bro. I just want to say that shit, man. I appreciate everybody on this platform. We all have a role. We all play it well. And everybody can't be down Billy throat pause about Dan leads this show for a reason. I want to sit back and sniper certain things if we have guests. And I could play that role. I love Dan leading, but great get, my dude. You know what I'm saying? That was a monumental moment for this platform. We've had some great guests. I think we lead the league in great guests, but that was king right there at a pivotal moment in our platform. So much appreciated, my guy.
Absolutely. No, it was a long work in progress. We appreciate the Florida Gators PR staff and SID and those that were involved in making that happen. Really big for the platform. I think really good for the fan base as well. It's, to our understanding, Billy Napier's first ever podcast ever that wasn't associated with maybe ESPN or the SEC network, but really enjoyable time. He hung out. You can kind of tell when somebody is enjoying their time. Looking back on it, man, it was just such a cool 25 minutes for this show and for the fan base as well. And that's, ultimately why we do this, right? We enjoy hanging out together each and every week with you guys, but being able to provide some of that insight to the Gator fan base is what we're doing this for. So, a lot of coach speak, a lot of traditional answers there, but definitely some interesting tidbits. Silk, what was something that you maybe took away from that?
I thought you got to coach speak as much as you can around that. I thought he articulated himself well about the rivals and losing to those guys. It was just.
Did you give Corey your internet?
Get better. Oh. I like that he addressed.
What happened? Good. You're good now. You broke up for a second.
I lagged out. I lagged out. I like how he
his hamster got you.
I like how he shout out to the hamsters, man. It's the Barack Obama internet on President's Day. That's what it is, man. It's lagging a little bit. I like how he did address like the offense and how different it is going to look next year and the progress he expects to see from an executing standpoint. I asked him about that middle eight. I thought he hit on that very well, and there's some things that we can hold him accountable to if things don't change middle eight wise, and some of his coaching decisions and also just the rivalry. I wanted to know exactly how they're approaching this offense because we've never seen anything like that as far as losing rivalry. I understand the situations and where we at as a program. I just wanted to hear from him vocally, like exactly what his thoughts was on those topics. But I thought he did a good job. I thought everybody did a great job with the questions. Everybody couldn't. Billy would have got the hell up out of there if we all was drilling him with haymakers, right?
Right. Nick, what did you take? Obviously, you've heard Billy Napier speak, in person, dozens of times now. Were you able to take anything away from the conversation on Wednesday?
Yeah, he has a unique ability to say a lot of words that don't mean a lot of things. And we joke that he kind of like he'd be a good senator because he kind of like filibusters himself because he speaks a lot. But I think I think it was either to my question or to Silk's, but when he was talking about it was to Dan's question about the coaches, and when he got into you have to look yourself in the mirror, create a plan. What did I do well? How do I need to do better? And that's not just for himself, but for all the coaches. And I think when you look at, I think there's going to be close to there's only 50 scholarship players left or 45 scholarship players left from 2022 into 2023. That's a ton of turnover. So the coaching staff, and then when you consider AR is gone too, this offense is going to look completely different. So I think it's going to take a great coaching job from Billy Napier and the rest of the offensive staff to come up with a plan that isn't like, hey, when stuff breaks down, Ant, do you mind running 80 yards? Because you're not asking Graham Mertz to do that. So I think that was something I took away is that everyone kind of gets like homework after the season's done. It's like, hey, I need your ABC 1, 2, 3 plan of how you're going to be better next year as a better coach, motivator, and developer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I think, he talked, a lot about, first year struggles, right? And I know a lot of times we just assume that you should be able to just transfer in and, bring your success, with no matter what your roster is. And, one could argue, there's certainly coaches that make that transition a little bit simpler, but, a lot of us knew that Florida's roster was pretty broken going into last season. There's certainly some good players, but there was definitely some holes and some gaps there, as well. And, talked about building out what that staff looks like. And they brought 100+ people, from coach and off the field staff together. And, that takes a little while to gel. That takes a little while to, have everybody on the same page of what are we trying to do, what are we trying to accomplish. And there's, different tendencies, there's different things that people do differently, and trying to trying to gel and mash it all together is challenging, right? I mean, when you think of, on the business side, when a team, experiences rapid and expansive growth, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be, personalities that differ. There's going to be people that work really well together. There's people that not work really well together. So I think, dealing with a lot of that, when you consider the absolute overhaul that Florida did, to the entire football department, it is something to really think about and say, wow, that was a, super challenging year. There's probably a lot of people away from families and kids and trying to acclimate from, long-term, hotel or, apartment to a house and getting situated, getting their kids in school, a lot of things that are on, people's mind beyond just, football. And I know a lot of times we think that, these coaches are robots and they should be able to just, get right in, wake up at 4:30, be at the, at the workout facility at 5 and stay there until 8. There's a lot more that goes into life than that. So, really good, Silk, great questions there at the end about rivals and about the middle eight. I know that a lot of the fan base really, appreciated that. And I do think it's important to, ask those kind of questions and hold ourselves, accountable as, a podcast to questions that the fan bases are asking, or the fan base is asking. So, great questions there at the end. And, wish we had a few more minutes to touch on a few more things, but certainly really appreciative to Billy and his time.
Yeah, overall, I got to say, I really do, and I'm not one, as you can see, we like to keep it just fair and just be realistic, and also break things down, not just be one extreme or the other. Fire Billy, or he needs an OC. Try to get to some understanding of everything that he's trying to do. I had more questions that we just couldn't get to because everything's he's a busy guy, you know what I'm saying? So those last 2 questions that I got, we squeezed those in, but they was trying to get out of there already. So
yep.
I do get the overall sense of I believe in what he's building. Just keep it a bean. I think it's going to take some time. I think he learned a lot at Bama and Louisiana with doing his own thing and building that program up and resurrecting that program to what it is now. We got to just be more realistic of where the University of Florida was at when he got here. And I don't think a lot of fans, we live in this nostalgia sometimes of the glory days, but the program that Dan Mullen left, it just wasn't suited to go win the SEC. It wasn't suited to really beat Georgia. It was going to be on the heroics of Anthony Richardson's talent last year, and he just wasn't good enough and seasoned enough to carry us. But overall, as a program, the best guys on that roster last year was guys that he brought in from Louisiana, who normally wouldn't be Florida caliber kids that he recruited. So I believe in what he's building. He got to figure out the quarterback position. There's a lot of Mertz. We'll talk about that a little later. There's a lot of Mertz, better PR, I would say, that's coming off now than when he initially got that. People are starting to get a little bit more rational about what he could possibly be. But he got to figure out the quarterback position in the second year. I think year 3 is the year for him. And I think he mentioned that on the show as well, on that interview. But he can't afford not to make a bowl game or show progress in year 2. So that's where I'm at with it. But I do believe in what he's trying to build, from the quality of players he's bringing in, the way he got the staff built, the way they recruit. I just believe in what they're trying to do. And we'll see if it all comes into fruition and develops